Don't let yourself get all wrapped up in what everyone else thinks, what your teammates say, what everyone else is doing. Do what's best for you. Go to the school that's best for you, and you're going to be really happy with the way that things turned out.
All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just want to do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last.
What a beautiful morning in North Carolina right now. It's probably about 80 degrees, it's about 7:15 right now. About to head to the gym. Gonna be a great day. Let's get after it. Well, just stopped at CVS, Walgreens actually, I always get them confused. I'm a big Walgreens fan. I actually like Walgreens a lot better than I like CVS. Picked up a quick shake to hold me over. I gotta make a run to the grocery store, so they don't have Core Powers here. Core Powers are my go-to protein shakes if I'm gonna stop and buy one, but I got a Muscle Milk instead, and then whenever I go there, I get one of these Protein Crisp birthday cake remix bars, so that's gonna hold us over, but we gotta make another stop at the grocery store, because I'm gonna cook up a nice dinner tonight that I haven't had in a long time. It is about 12 o'clock, all showered up. This is the time where I spend the bulk of my day either out there on the computer or in my chair per usual. My room's kind of a mess right now, but I always am listening to something. So right now I'm listening to Dan Hughes. You can't really see it here. This is just a play he's got up, but I'm listening to a coach's webinar. Dan Hughes is the coach of the Seattle Storm with Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart. Obviously, two legends, two of the greatest to ever do it. So I'm listening to him, and he's talking about his transition offense, transition defense. They have the #1 ranked defense right now in the WNBA. So I've done a couple breakdowns on them, but it's really, really cool that I'm getting to hear him actually talk about it. So some of the stuff that maybe I'm a little confused about or I don't really understand, he's explaining it all throughout this webinar. So it's really, really cool to be able to see it and then actually hear it from the coach. He's not currently in the Wubble, which is the women's bubble down in Florida, because he's a little bit older, I guess, so he was more at risk for COVID. But hearing him talk about their strategies, whether it's offense or defense, is just really, really helpful, and it gives me insights on when I'm doing these breakdown videos, when I'm watching film, and it gives me a lot of ideas and stuff to think about. So whenever I'm listening to one of those, I'm also writing down notes. So I'd say every day I listen to about 2 of them. I have the all access pass. There's like 300 webinars, so I have plenty of stuff to listen to, nothing short of a ton of ideas. So remember when I was talking to you guys about the trading cards that I've gotten. So this was the Sabrina Ionescu card that I sold on eBay for like literally 10x the price that I bought it for. So I had picked up a few of them, not just one. So I've got 4 left. Now I've learned that this brand, it's Generation Next. That's the brand right there, if I can focus. These aren't like a super valuable brand in terms of like comparing it to like Panini cards or like Donruss and stuff like that. But because this is the only rookie card out for Sabrina right now, obviously you see she's in her Oregon uniform still, but like it has the draft thing up there. Let me focus. But yeah, it has the Liberty draft thing up there, so that's why this has become valuable, because it's literally the only card of her out. And I also just picked up a Retro Series Donruss Cheryl Swoops. There's a little dink right there on the top. You can't see it, but I wasn't too happy with that. But hopefully I can, flip this one maybe in time, or I'm just going to hang on to it because, she's a legend. But definitely going to probably be reselling these soon because they're coming out with a new Panini Prism collection, which is going to be sick for the WNBA 2020. So her actual rookie card will be dropping this fall. So I'll be sure to pick that up. But yeah, I'm going to keep you guys updated on the sports card collection. And, hopefully it's just another thing that you guys enjoy seeing in the blogs. Y'all know what time it is. Let's get this workout in. Alright, guys. When people ask me what it takes to get recruited, what do I have to do to get recruited, how do I get seen by college coaches, how do I get a scholarship, all questions along that topic, this is exactly what I said. Sun is bright today. Number one, first and foremost, you need to be self-aware about your skill level. What I mean about this is I don't want you to be negative or down on yourself, but I also don't want you to be, super cocky and think you're the shit, right? So sorry for my language, but I'm just being completely real with you guys. And when it comes to getting recruited, you got to know your skill level in comparison to the people around you, your teammates, the people that are the best players in the state, right? The league that you're in. It's all relative. So getting recruited, if you're on a really, really bad team, right? Like your team is just not ranked, nobody knows who you are. Maybe you're in a league that just doesn't get any exposure. It's going to be already harder for you to stand out because nobody knows about your league. And now you can also think that you're really, really good because you play on a bad team. So as negative and as harsh as that might sound, I'm just trying to be blunt and straightforward with you guys, is you got to get in a better environment. If you're not in a competitive setting, you'll never really know how good you are. This is kind of what I experienced when I was at my first high school. I was probably one of the best players on the team, if not the best player, but we were in a bad league and there was nothing really going on. Like basketball wasn't the main sport of the school. Nobody, in Long Island, it just wasn't big, right? So I had to move and make a sacrifice and transfer to a school in New York City, because if you think New York City, you think basketball, right? That's what most people do, at least. So New York City basketball was on a whole nother level than what I had in New York, in Long Island, New York, obviously. So that's the biggest thing. You got to be willing to sacrifice. And when I got to New York City, I was not the best player. I wasn't even one of the best players. But I was able to compare myself then and say, oh, wow, like I really thought I was a lot better than I actually was, right? Because the competition that I was playing against was a lot lower. But now, because I was playing every single day, competing, playing against, and playing with people that were better than me, I was able to also improve my game and get used to that level of competition. So over time, right, I gradually got better and better and better. And then by the time that my junior, senior year came around, I was one of the top players in New York City. And because I was in New York City, where the basketball is super competitive, coaches and college coaches, recruiting, all of that, they were coming to our games. They were coming to our practices. I remember we had Syracuse University in the gym like at least twice a week recruiting one of my teammates, I think. So every game there was college coaches in the stands. We were going to big time tournaments. We were playing in the playoffs. We were top of the league. So that's what you guys got to understand. You got to put yourself in an environment that you can allows yourself to compare, right? To see where you are at, not to compare, to judge, or to dwell on how, but just to get a sense of where you're at, so you can see, can I play Division 1? Can I play Division 2? Can I play Division 3? Where do I fit, right? And then you're allowing yourself to get exposure, because college coaches are going to come see you play. So that is tip number one. I know that was long-winded, but I say this all the time. Super passionate about it. This is the number one tip, is you got to get in a competitive setting. Got the Power Beats on for the run today. Again, guys, so good. Perfect for running, perfect for shooting outside. But today we got some intervals. I'm going to bring the camera along with me, because it's not going to be like a super long run, but we got some intervals. So I'm going to be doing 30-second, like probably 80 to 90% intensity sprints, and then it's going to be 30 seconds off. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. We're probably going to go for about 10 rounds or so. So it's going to be more higher intensity, shorter duration.
Money was all that was stuck on my mind. Chicks would be mad, I ain't give them no time. Canceled on dates like 100 times. I knew that I would be
30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Sprints. We're four down out of 10. I always notice whenever I run, the first few are always the hardest. Even when I'm running long distance, like the first 5 minutes are always pretty brutal, and I did not warm up well today. So guys, before you do anything, make sure you're warming up. Your last sprint. We just finished up 10 sprints. That was actually fun. I actually really enjoyed that. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So I was able to go pretty hard. for pretty much all of them, then just ran back to the house. So that was good, really good sweat. It really does help that it's, usually 90 degrees here, so I could literally just walk and sweat, but that was fun. Different little workout as opposed to running for longer distances. Make sure that, if you guys are training for basketball, obviously I'm not a player anymore, so I'm not as strict about my training protocol and everything. I kind of just lean towards stuff that I more so enjoy. But if I was a player right now, I would be doing a combination of this kind of stuff, right? Just sprints, short intervals, shorter rest periods as well, and sprints, and then a combination with some endurance stuff as well. Because if you can be the best at both of those things, you're gonna have a way easier time getting up and down the floor. And then when you get to school, everything is just gonna be better because you'll be training your anaerobic and your aerobic system. So, just make sure you're getting out there and running again. Not just hooping all day. I know that's what we love to do. That was me as a freshman too. Never wanted to run, never wanted to lift. That's how I was as a younger player. But you realize how important it is to be in good shape. And you don't want to learn the hard way as a freshman. So get after it right now. Do what you got to do. Put the work in, put the time in while you're waiting for the season to come around, and you won't regret it. All right, basketball workout today. We're going to be doing a ball screen workout, but we're going to start it off with some weak hand ball handling. An object like a cone, you can get a water bottle, anything that has a little bit of height on it, and we're just going to be focusing on our ball control. Again, everything's with our left hand. When we're starting, we're going to do both hands. Let's start everything with our left hand. So we're going to start right here, get this thing squared up right beneath you, get athletic into a nice stance, and we're just going to be going push, try and bring the ball, not just over the cone, like here, but really get that ball wide. Get that ball wide and bring it back. And try and keep your hand on top of the ball as best as you can. And also, notice how I'm shifting my body. Shift, 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 shift. Don't be stiff. Don't just be here. Shift your body. Right? So make sure our body's working with our hands. Next one, right around the cone. Next, right around the cone. Your arm's gonna start to burn here. Next one, V dribble, over, push. V dribble, over, push. V dribble, over, push. V dribble, over, push. Now, V dribble, in and out. V dribble, cross, behind. V dribble, cross, behind. V dribble, cross, behind. V dribble, cross, behind. Quick 5-minute ball handling workout that you guys can do. Just start with that, do a ton of reps, get that arm burning. So when it comes to recruiting, I really do believe that getting recruited, kind of everything just ties back into what I was talking about before, putting yourself in the best situation possible. Now, let's say that you've already done that. You maybe, you changed AAU teams, you changed schools, whatever. You did what you needed to do. Now you're in a better environment, but for some reason, like you feel like you're just still not getting the interest from college coaches that you really want, right? And you think you're good enough, you're good enough, but you're just not getting that exposure. The coaches aren't really coming after you as hard. I think the next thing that you got to do is you got to start putting things into your own hands and taking action yourself. So there's no harm in emailing coaches. There's no harm in asking your AAU coaches or your high school coaches to reach out and speak up for you, because it could just be that you slipped under the rug, right? And the coach maybe didn't see you. Maybe a coach was at a tournament and he left right before you played, and just some stuff happens, and maybe they just didn't get a chance to see you. But if they did see you, they would be really, really impressed. So I do think that it is a good idea to make sure you have your highlight tape ready to go, right? So you can email that out to the schools that you're interested in, so at least you're getting that opportunity. If you reach out to a coach, right, even if they don't answer, they might have still watched your highlight tape. Like, you got that at bat, right? That's the biggest thing. You want to make sure you're getting as many at bats as possible. When I say at bats, I'm meaning opportunities as possible, so that when the right coach does see you, watch you, hear about you, whatever it is, that they're able to execute on that, and that they can come back and they can find you. But if you take the first step, right, and you reach out to that coach, you're going to be more likely to get recruited by more schools. Because again, not every coach is going to be able to see every single one of your games. You could have just fell through the cracks and just didn't get seen. So make sure that you're taking it upon yourself to reach out to coaches. Don't just sit back and expect everything to come to you. Of course, that would be great, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really work like that. There are so many players out there trying to get recruited right now. So if you don't have the interest players that you want, take it upon yourself, start emailing those coaches, send your highlight tape, have some game film ready, full game film too, not just like a clip of you scoring, right? You got to show the coach the entire game. They don't want to see just your highlights. But you can start with the highlight tape, then they'll come back and they'll reach out to you. And then also make sure you're reaching out to your AAU coach, again, your high school coach. See if they can get in contact or connect you with coaches, right? That's their job. A coach's job in high school or AAU is to try and get their players to get to the next level, right? So if they're willing to help you, that's also gonna make it a lot easier on you to find coaches. College coaches know AAU teams. They know all the AAU teams, they know all the AAU coaches, and that's who they reach out to first, especially if you're below junior year where they can't directly contact the player. They're talking to the AAU coach. So make sure you use all the resources around you. You're going to be attacking a hedge. A hedge is when the screener's defense is going to be attached to the screen. So if this is the screen, they're going to literally be facing this way to send me back to the sidelines. They're trying to keep me out of the middle of the floor. They're going to be attached to the screen, and as I dribble out, they're going to come here and they're going to step out with me. Now we're practicing a hard hedge. A soft hedge or a low hedge would just be if they were lateral, but we're going to practice attacking a hard hedge, which is going to come laterally out. So for this option, it's all about our footwork and it's all about anticipation. So if we see that defender coming high to the screen, we should already be thinking that they might trap us or that they're going to hard hedge. So if we can just get here, right, anticipate it, take one dribble out, and then re-attack, we can get a nice lane to the basket. As soon as this defender, they usually don't want to stay too long, so they might take one step this way and they're going to run back to their man. So we can sell like we're going to get trapped here. So we say, oh no, we're going to retreat. As soon as that hedge leaves, we re-attack that screen. So that's going to be our read on this one. Another option we can use, more advanced, something that you're going to have to definitely practice, would definitely be splitting the hedge. When we split a hedge, right, maybe the defender leaves a little bit of a gap right in between the screener, and we want to take advantage of that. So if they lose attachment from the screen, we might be able to step out here and split in beneath. There's a lot of different footwork and dribble methods that you can use for this. I like a low dribble, so I might come here and I might go 1, 2, 3 and tap through. Notice how low that dribble was, right? Because I gotta sneak through a tight space. Again, something that you're definitely gonna have to practice. All right, before I hop into my Zoom training sessions for the night, the last thing I'm going to say about recruiting is that you got to make connections, guys. You got to be able to connect with players that are maybe in your area who even might be a little bit better than you but can help you get exposure. Try and get onto their AAU team or their summer leagues, just anything that will put you in contact with people who maybe have a bigger name so that eventually you can get recruited because you're associated with them. I'm telling you, association goes a long way. Playing on a good named program in terms of AAU will help you. A good high school is going to help you also. At the end of the day, though, don't obsess. I think too many players these days obsess over recruiting and college coaches and going D1, and especially when they're at a young age. If you're a junior or a senior, I totally understand, if you're a little bit anxious or overwhelmed with the whole thing. But if you're in middle school right now, or you're even a freshman in high school, you should not be thinking every time that you step out on the court, which coaches are here, like scouts, recruits, that stuff's just going to overwhelm you. And if you're over obsessing and overthinking about who's watching you, who's in the gym, where's my next letter coming from, who's interested in me, you're just going to lose the love of the game. So I really just recommend that you guys just focus on basketball. When you step out on the court, enjoy what you're doing, play hard, and be in the moment. Don't be thinking about what's going to happen 7 months from now, a year down the line. Focus on basketball. If you play hard and put yourself in the best position to get recruited, obviously, getting that exposure, putting yourself in a good place, you're going to get opportunities. They're going to come. Just be patient and don't over obsess. Don't overthink. Take it one day at a time. Enjoy what you're doing and be in the moment. But that's what I got for you guys in terms of the AAU tips, recruiting tips, all that kind of stuff. All right, so we're here wrapping up the night. Late night walk as usual with Charlie. Zoom training session was really good today. I made it more competitive, so we kind of kept points, like kept track of points of the makes throughout the whole workout. So just switched it up. Always looking for new ideas, trying to get feedback from the players that I train with, what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, while still making sure there's some sort of like teaching incorporated without, so that they're not practicing bad habits either. But yeah, so that was a really good session today. On the way back now, I'm sorry if I seemed a little bit harsh in terms of the recruiting stuff, but I just want to be completely real with you guys and honest. But at the end of the day, if you're playing any level of college basketball, whether it's D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, whatever it is, like, know that you have done something that a lot of players haven't. Oh my God, he hears a noise and he just takes off. So he's pretty much walking me at this point. But you guys got to realize, like, you're so lucky. Don't let D1 or the thought of D1 or the fear of not going D1 intimidate you and let you lose the love of the game. Like, it's not about that. Enjoy where you are at the present moment, right? And enjoy the opportunity and the process of getting to the next place that you want to go. Don't let yourself get all wrapped up in what everyone else thinks, what your teammates say, what everyone else is doing. Do what's best for you. Go to the school that's best for you, and you know, you're gonna be really happy with the way that things turned out. Wrapping up the night with the usual sludge right here. Best nighttime snack.